Hello, this is Rev Dore, teaching religious science, which is the teaching of the science of mind from Sarasota, Florida. Today, standing before an open door. So many billions of people around the world wish and dream and hope for a better life for themselves and those they love. But many people get up and go to work each day doing things they really don't want to do, but believe that they must earn a living, so they do what they hate day in and day out. They cannot conceive of any other life. They do it for so long that they fall asleep mentally and spiritually. They lose hope, believing that this is just the way life is. Do you realize that each of us are standing before an open door to the life we've always dreamed of having? There's no reason why we can't walk through that door right now, because the key is already in our minds and hearts. You and I were created by God with all the tools and talent we need to live the life of our fondest dreams. That dream is alive inside of you because it was put there before you were born. You probably have been ignoring it for years. Your job is finally to have the courage and the will to realize that the only impediment to your desires is that you are asleep in a state of disbelief. It's time to wake up and live, my friend. The first step in waking through the open door is just simply to wake up. Yes, wake up, and how you do that is to break free of the default settings you've been programmed with. Those are all the things your preachers and teachers and parents and your culture and your race and your nationality have taught you. Most of us are programmed to believe that we're weak worms of the dust, full of sin, worthy of nothing but God's wrath and condemnation. Oh, woe is us, huh? This is what a great percentage of the people of the earth are taught. In fact, some in the Eastern religions are taught that their current life experience is ordained by God, and you must live out your destiny or karma without complaint. Even if you're a Dalit or untouchable, a caste so low and reviled that other people may not even touch them. These teachings have put you and I to sleep, literally. We are sleepwalking through life, believing that just surviving is why we're here. The truth is, there are no Dalits, no humans are so low as to be untouchable. There are no inferior races of people. There is no gender gap except in our minds. And there are only people asleep and others wide awake. Some people have been asleep for many lifetimes, and I'd say it's high time for them to wake up and live. Sleepwalking through the spiritual darkness is not living, it's simply existing. Come into the light of love and truth and wake up to your own magnificence. Do you know that you and I are made of the very stuff of stars? Carl Sagan first said that back in the 80s, the great astronomer and popularizer of science. We are made of the very stuff of stars. You know what? He's right. We are literally made of the body of God, which is this universe. Think about that for a minute. In order to wake you up, you will need to kickstart your imagination. Yes, every one of us have one, but many of us are so deeply asleep to what life could and should be that our imagination is in deep hibernation. You know, without imagination, you cannot create anything new in your life, but only more of the same old stuff you've lived with all your life. Imagination is the greatest gift of God to humankind, and it's our greatest power. Without it, we'd all be asleep, bound by the chains of precedent, unable to progress beyond the sleepwalking of our fathers and grandfathers before us, things we've been doing all of our lives. With imagination, we can travel to the stars, create our own personal paradise, create palaces and kingdoms full of wonder and delight. Or, like Edison, we can create a simple, cheap glass bulb that would use electricity to light up the night and extend the enjoyment of home and family for even the poorest worker. You may not remember this. None of you are old enough, I'm sure, but historically I know that workers used to come home at night, 6, 7 o'clock at night, and go straight to bed because their houses were too dark to even read anything. All they had was wax candles, so everybody went to bed. They had no life at all, essentially, but work and a little time off on Sunday. But Edison gave them a life. He gave them a whole evening to enjoy together now with the electric light. He was able to do this because he used his imagination. and he had tenacity. It took 4,000 tries to get it right. He saw it so clearly in his mind that he knew he could do it. It wasn't that he thought he could do it, he knew it. And indeed, the fruit of this one man's magnificent imagination transformed the world. He probably holds more patents on more things we use today, every day, in some form or another than any other man alive. Movie projector was invented by Edison. Generators to generate power was invented by Edison. Recording devices were invented by Edison. Just about everything we use in one form or another was. Now, you know, Henry Ford is another one. Henry did not invent the automobile, he democratized it. He took a rich man's toy and made it inexpensive enough for almost any working family to afford. He was able to do this because he walked through the open door of his mind, which was the imagination. He saw families going into the country on Sunday in his Model T. He saw picnics by the river where city children ran and swam and played ball, perhaps for the first time in their lives. He saw steel workers being able to take the family out of the soot and smoke of Pittsburgh into the lovely farmlands and small towns of the Ohio Valley, even if only for a day or two. Imagine how that changed people's lives and gave them a look at something better than Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh used to be a really lousy city. I know I used to go there in the 50s with my dad, and even in the 50s, you had to change your shirt twice a day. It was so dirty. Now it's a beautiful town, but this is now and that was then. This newfound freedom for every family transformed life here and around the world. Today, the automobile is synonymous with freedom. It's our magic carpet to adventure in magical times. It's also our greatest aggravation if we live in Southern California, where I grew up, but we still wouldn't be without one even there. Like Edison, Ford, and Orville and Wilbur Wright, you can change your world the way they changed life on this planet, with your imagination. What you can conceive, you can surely create in your life. What you can see yourself having or doing is already done because you've created it in your mind. And it only awaits a bit of work to bring it into form where it can be used. What you cannot imagine can never be for you, so dust off that long unused imagination and allow yourself to dream. That's what you're here for, is to dream and make them come true. Ask yourself not only why, but why not? The only obstacle to your dreams coming true is you. You know, you're the driving wheel of your life. You happen to life. Life doesn't happen to you. It only reflects what's going on inside of your mind and heart. It just shows your character on the screen of your mind. Blaming life for your condition is as silly as blaming the mirror because you don't look too good today. You stand before an open door, one that only you have the key to open, and that key is your imagination and the strength of character to stay the course when all the facts seem to be stacked against you. I want you to remember that facts are constructed by minds just like yours, and thoughts are the only thing that can dissolve them. Facts are really the bathtub ring of the human mind. They are what's left over from hardened, often repeated, and believed thought. You know that facts get overturned every day. Things we thought were facts, oh, well, we've progressed now. That's not a fact anymore. The earth is not flat. And oh, yes, we can fly. You can wash them away with a clean sweep of a new thought and a new dream born of your imagination. The open door to your dreams. You're standing right in front of it. Come on, wake up and live. Why not subscribe to this blog and this podcast on YouTube or on Wake Up and Live for the blog and never miss one of these messages? You want to know more about the perennial philosophy, which is religious science, the teaching of the science of mind? Log on to csl.org and find the Center for Spiritual Living, that's what we call our churches, nearest to you. Why not sign up for an introductory class or come and visit us on one of our Sunday celebrations? Until you're together again, so long for now. This is Rev Dore, Jacques Patlian saying bye-bye.